Hi Pisces, I'm actually a little early, about 15 minutes early, but I thought that the earlier I started, the more time that I would have to pull cards at the end. So, if you are new here, each day that I do an element, hello, it's Little John and Juan. Each day that I do an element, I try my best to stay at the last sign of each element. So we're talking Sag, Cap, Aquarius, and Pisces, and answer some cards, answer some questions, and pull some cards. So first we're going to do the full read for Pisces. And I'm Suzzy. I am a trauma-informed astrologer and evolutionary astrologer, I should say, who believes in astrology for empowerment along with the other things in my toolbox. And I'm a metaphysical practitioner, including Reiki 2 practitioner. I love divination, so we're going to look into your energy and your other's energy. Other can be whatever is most impactful to you right now. Hello. Hi everyone again. This is an awesome community. I know it's hard for everyone to catch lives, but when you do, it's not just about me being available to you. This community is amazing. And if you are catching this in a replay and you just feels like I'm never on at a good time for you, leave me a comment. Tell me what works for you, because sometimes I don't sleep. You know what I mean? So I'm willing to mix it up one week from another. I don't have a steady time. So, you know, I like to try to get around to everyone. Boy, these cards. All right, I'm not mad at that. Pisces, the energy that, you know, in the most recent, or the energy that's affecting you the most, is Ten of Pentacles. That's the happy ending card. And in your other's energy, we have the King of Pentacles, which is feeling really stable. And in the center, we have the World. You know, I did a little meditation. I always do a little meditation, but I asked universe, like, please, for these sweet Pisces, can we please get can we focus on what the good energies are? Okay. Ay. Okay. So Pisces, there may be, and you know, cross watchers are welcome. If you have a big 12th house, lots of placements, or just the 12th house sun, this is also for you Pisces sun, moon, rising. And if you want to apply your Venus, sometimes too, you can have like a Neptune or a Jupiter placement that makes you relate to Pisces, the same way that like my Pluto on my ascendant makes me feel sometimes like I might as well be Scorpio. I understand and also vibe with Scorpio energy. So if you're just here, you're meant to be. The bottom of the deck is funny because the card is turned around on both ends. So it's got to be this end. Queen of Swords. So that is wanting to be in your truth and in your integrity. You know, Neptune or Jupiter on your ascendant would also, or like very, very closely conjunct, like I would say within 5 degrees, would also give you lots of Pisces energy. So we have them with the King of Pentacles. They're feeling steady. They are feeling stable. Like at this point, King of Pentacles to me isn't just like somebody who's like stacked bills and has their 401k in order and all of that stuff. Owns their house, maybe no more mortgage left. I mean, King of Pentacles can be those things, but it's also somebody who feels stable within themselves. So like if that was all gone tomorrow, whatever skills they've honed, whatever and what other ways that they have secured their existence, they feel really stable. The energy in between is the World card. I'm using my Serum Marquettis. This is the Grand Royal. The Gilded. Wait, we have the Gilded Tarot, and this is the Gilded Royal Tarot. It's got two decks that are very similar. In your now energy, we have the Magician trying to manifest that 10 of Pentacles. That seems to be the goal, the focus. And it seems to be like you can, you're having a little bit of it. Because when it shows up in Pentacles, it means that it's happening. There's something tangible for you to put your hands around. For some of you, this is something that has existed. Like the wife, the husband, the family, the house, that kind of thing. And if you're leaving that energy, it means it feels in jeopardy. And it feels like the other energy may have the upper hand with that King of Pentacles. The other thing about the King of Pentacles is they have the most help available. So sometimes the King of Pentacles is someone you feel like you have to rely on. Depending on the other cards, the other energies around it. We have the World card. That's a completion of a cycle. That's in the center. Let's clarify, see how that goes. So you now have the Magician, right? And we have this Magician using all of the elements to manifest. You know, Pisces is always connected. Pisces is always, you know, a divine soul that has a lot of connection. Being grounded with somebody like the King of Pentacles can be really important. You'll hear me say it. That's why, like, if you can find a really healthy Capricorn for a really healthy Pisces, that's a great couple, because that is balance. Because Pisces is up in the ethers, right? And so sometimes because of that, Pisces can suffer from anxiety, worrying too much about what happens. And then if they manifest because they can't ground as well, they sometimes can manifest the thing that they fear. And if you're Pisces, I don't think that you think that I'm being unkind. I think that you probably experienced that. In your others energy, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And this is a really interesting Wheel of Fortune. It seems to have a little bit to do with the Chinese zodiac with the animals around. So for some reason that might strike something for someone watching. Want to clarify this. In between the energies, we have, again, same card came up. Don't know if it came up with Cancer. It definitely came up with Scorpio. Is the Nine of Swords. the thoughts that keep you up at night, which goes with the idea that there may be a little bit of fear of losing this 10 of Pentacles, or that you're trying to manifest more of what feels good and keep it. And there's just a little fear lingering. We saw this with Cancer with the other shoe that's going to drop. In the upcoming energy, we have the Page of Pentacles, which is great. It's more stability, new stability in some way, in something that can develop as stability. And then we have in their energy the Seven of Wands in reverse. So the Seven of Wands often is the card of advocacy, because the difference is with the Nine of Wands, the wands are all behind them. They're defending what they already conquered. With the Seven of Wands, it's defending something they feel is fragile, hence the card of advocacy. And they're willing to be, they're willing to go up against quite a bit to defend this. We have the Three of Swords in between. That also came up in Scorpio's card in their other. There's a little bit of fear in Cancer's reading. There's a little bit of fear in Scorpio's reading, and I'm feeling a little bit of fear here. It's a human construct. It's not anything to be ashamed of, to pretend that it's not happening, and it doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Because, unless everything is worked out perfectly in your life, which has happened to no one, the things that we fear is our lived experience kind of creeping in the back of our head. What I want to say to everyone who's watching is that today you are a newer, healed, smarter, wiser version of yourself than you even were yesterday, let alone the last time something like this came up. I do feel a split. I do feel that this is for like half of you, this is fear of something that feels like it might be crumbling. And for the other half of you, this feels good. What's going to go wrong? So for half of you, something is kind of fragile. And for the other half of you, it's the fear of what if this becomes fragile? Hi, Nicole. And speak up if you're a cross watcher or anything, if this resonates. All right. I know I started a little early. Let's clarify. What shall we clarify with? I think we have the Love is Love deck available to us. Oh, we have this deck. Hey, Girly Sunday. I meditated for a long time and then took, with pick-a-cards, I like there to be a system. I like there to be a little structure. And I really want to meditate for each pile what I'm asking of universe so that it's a consistent message. So when you have that tomorrow, I actually have the cards all put aside. So I'm not using any of those cards because then those decks don't have all their words. So I'm not using the decks that I used. And I used quite a bit. So thank God I have quite a bit. It's also going to make no Into the Lonely Woods tonight, kids, when we're doing this, as much as I love that, because I have it for the pick a card tomorrow. And the reason that I'm doing a pick a card tomorrow, boy, that card came up in every water sign today. The reason I'm doing pick a card tomorrow, I'm going to record it. Hey, hi, April. Hi, April's babies. I love your mama. Your mama is something else. The reason I'm doing a pick a card tomorrow that I'll probably pre-record, and if you see it looks lengthy, don't worry because it'll be time stamped. You only have to watch the one that you feel called to. I'm going to pre-record and put that out there because tomorrow night I am live with Connie Joe on soul navigation. And also I have a link tree where you can find everything. So you can find anything about me, all of my social media. It's all in one place, where you can find me doing tarot, and anything special I do out of the ordinary, and also how you can contact me. So I'll make sure, if my link tree isn't already in my description, I'll make sure it's there. But it's definitely my Instagram. My Instagram, everything should be the same. Sometimes it has to have an underscore, but everything's pretty much the same. The same name, same spelling. So the energy that you're coming out of Pisces, the overall, I only clarify that with one card because I don't like to spend too much time on the energy that's diminishing, is the Two of Swords. That's the card that came up with every water sign today. And that's to go with the Ten of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and the World in between. There is a choice here. I just feel like, again, for half of you, hi Mary, I feel like for half of you, that choice is going to be to live in the moment. And for the other half of you, if something feels fragile, it's going to be how your free will is going to be a player on the board in this whole scenario. On the Magician, right, we have the Death card in reverse. Something that may have felt like it was dead in the water. Whether that was like an old habit of yours, an old person that's relevant to this situation. But something that you thought that you would never have to revisit, or someone you thought that would never pop back up, is now coming to play. And the manifesting you might be doing is to manifest that thing away. I don't think you want to deal with this again. That's the vibe I'm getting. I got chills up my back the second I saw that it was the Death card in reverse. That can also be like everything feels so good and fragile in the way that you don't want it to end, that you don't want to process anything else. You don't want to find out anything. You want to like put a bubble around it and protect it. So like, we're done transforming. We're done going through. We're done, but we're not going to do anything that would risk what feels good. In their thing, we have the Wheel of Fortune, right? In their energy, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And then that's clarified by the Tower, but upside down. There's something here that no one wants to let loose. It's like release the Kraken, because I think we all know from lived experience that the Kraken is hard to hold back. Woof! I thought Scorpio was heavy. This is why I can't do 2 hours of live card pulls after water signs. In the center, we have that Nine of Swords. Something is, the thoughts that keep us awake at night is the energy between both. There's something that's coming that's, the Wheel of Fortune is moving on others' side. That's not a bad card. It just means something's shifting to bring something better. There's resistance on both of your sides. And it may be both, because you're both protecting what feels really precious. With the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. The Knight of Pentacles is already such slow moving energy. When it's in reverse, for me, it's at a dead stop. We have that clarifying that Nine of Swords, the thoughts that keep us up at night, in the energy between you two. So it's again, and this whole energy is like, let's not look inside Pandora's box. Let's not move a muscle. It's like when you're saying goodbye to somebody that you love, not because you're saying goodbye, but because like they have to go on a trip, or someone's going off to college, or something that you find so precious. It's that like, maybe if neither of us say anything, we can just stay in this moment, and we don't have to walk into that next moment where there's a bit of shift, a bit of separation, and a bit of unfamiliarity. For some of you, this is a good shift, even if you're resisting it. And for some of you, it's just not a cataclysmic shift, even though that might be a concern. Again, I'm feeling two different communities here within this Pisces reading. I have water. It's just... lately when I do these readings... I need like a gallon of water. What's interesting is in this Page of Pentacles, in the upcoming energy, finding a new way to be stable. Hi, Shauna. Finding a new way to be stable. I don't hate this card because there's a peacock in it. Right? There's beauty to this new stability. The peacock feathers are not being shown, right? It just looks like, you know, I always say when a peacock doesn't have its feathers fanned, it just looks like a quail that's trying to be extra. But there is a new small message of something coming to you that can create a new sense of stability. It doesn't mean all of the other stability is going away. It just means that there's like an added sense of stability, something small, not overwhelming, not something that feels like that's out of my scope. Not something that feels like this is more than I can handle, or that feels overwhelming. This feels like something small that's easily integrated into your life that just creates another form of stability. And if you want to think of it this way, you know, a four-legged table is a little better than a three-legged table. But if you have one of those big tables, right, the 6 legs are better. So like another form of stability doesn't mean all the rest is going to go away. Whether this is an insurance policy because of that King of Pentacles up here, I'm not sure. For a few of you, it is. I don't think that's for everyone though. But it's clarified by the Magician. More manifestation, and the other thing is like planning. The Fool wants to look without leaping. The next card is the Magician that starts to put everything in. Well, what if we do this and this? And it's starting to put the energy behind the plan. In the 7 of Wands, whatever this is being protected, again, honestly, it feels kind of precious to both of you. Whether it's meant to crumble in a tower or whether it's meant to transform. You know, I have a wonderful client. who's part of the community, and sometimes we have to like let things go so that they can reform in a healthier way. But it's scary when you have a healer telling you you have to cut all the binds and all the cords and all the everything so that you can kind of be a new healed version of yourself. It feels scary to let go. I have certainly been in that position. I have energy that I'm connected to that I adore and feel so I have a Cancer. My Mars is in Cancer and it's out of bounds. Do you know how protective that is of those that feel special that you let in your inner circle? It's crazy. And then add an Aries moon to that. I have been in the position where I've been told you have to stop taking on that energy. You have to disconnect for a minute so that it can all heal. That is scary to do because you feel like, if I'm holding this person, if I'm holding them in love, if I'm wrapping them in light and protection and I let go, isn't that awful? Isn't that terrible for them? Aren't I a bad person? What kind of advocate am I? Right? And now I'm emotional. But sometimes you have to let the attachment go so there can be a clearer path for everyone to be an even better, more sustainable version of themselves. Because when neither feels sustainable on their own, or sometimes honestly worse, one person feels unsustainable without the other, and then that other feels like no matter what they do, they would be the worst person in the world because they feel such a heavy sense of responsibility. One person feels like I have to have this or else where would I be? And the other person feels like this doesn't feel healthy, right? And that's going to grow resentment. Neither of those situations are a good situation to be in, but it often happens when there's lots of love and connection. We have the 5 of Coins, the isolation card, the ghosting card, in reverse on the 7 of Wands. This person does not want to fail you. This situation does not want to fail you. They don't want to leave you isolated. They don't want to leave themselves isolated. They're protective of the connection. If you think they're not, they are. But there is deep care. They also see all that's beautiful about you. Pisces, as much grounding as you can do and as much detachment as you can do, the better the situation's going to be. The energy that the fears are creating, even though you're doing pretty good here in the upcoming energy, trying to manifest this new stability, even though for some of you that's an insurance policy, there may be a little like I'll show them energy with this. For some people, it's like, I'll be okay. I'm going to manifest. I'll create stability on my own, and that'll either add to it, but it's not going to take it away, right? But I need to be okay so I'm not relying on this person as much. I think that's beautiful. For some of you, that is like, I'll show them. That's whatever you got to do to create stability for yourself. I almost don't care. You're going to be the one who suffers from like the anger and the momentum to get you there. But if that's what gets you there, you're going to end up in a better place because of it. How's that for honesty? Sometimes we need to be a little pissed off to motivate us and push us through things. That's human experience. The person who suffers the most from being the pissed off is you. But if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. And certainly there's no judgment for it. And if somebody else tries to judge you, tell them to come see me about it. Sometimes survival mode requires impetus, and it's the lesser of, it's the devil you know and the devil you don't know. The anger will be temporary. The stability will stay. The energy that those two things are creating. So we have the Three of Swords on the board that I said was fear of this breaking, or somebody experiencing emotional pain, which is just part of life. But we have the Nine of Coins, Nine of Pentacles in reverse. There's a fear of all of this history to be for nothing. There's a fear of not being able to pick, the fruits of your labor. When it feels like too much work on one side, and when it feels like work on your side to the point where you can't enjoy the parts that are good, fear will kill more happiness than failure will. I say that all the time. If you're following me on Instagram, you've seen it posted probably every 8 weeks. But fear will kill more of your happiness than failure ever will. There's something precious, whether it stays super romantic or whether it stays love, because love comes in many forms. But there is something precious, and both of you hold this precious. Let's get a message from your person. And let's get an oracle card. And then if you're in the room, stay, because I'm going to pull some cards. Probably until, I don't know, maybe till around 9 o'clock. So I'll stay in the room for another 40 minutes. I'm quiet to protect you from my ego. When we have a King of Pentacles on the other side of the board, that makes sense. When somebody else feels like they have to... it's your words. And I just had this with a client last night. There's something called code switching that's used in psychology. It's used with interrogations. It's used with a lot of things. But we have to code switch ourselves sometimes, right? It's like getting rid of an accent or learning anything where we have to repeat it a couple of times till it sticks. If things feel like a have to, they will build resentment. Well, I have to go have this talk with my partner. I have to make sure that I work this overtime because they're struggling. If it's something you want to continue to enjoy, invest, and extract joy from, and happiness and peace, most of all, in your life, start saying, I get to. I don't care if it's paying your electrical bill. I get to have a job that supplies me the ability to pay my electrical bill and enjoy this home. You have to code switch yourself. If you are dealing with a partner that's going through a hard time and it feels like so much work that the Nine of Pentacles is coming up and the upcoming energy, which you can shift. Your free will is a bigger player on the board than any astrology, divination, channeled message could ever be. Your free will and your ability to move through processing in a safe, gentle, sustainable way is the biggest player on the board, always. Code switch how you speak to yourself. If you're cross-watching and you feel like a lot of, and this came up yesterday again in a client session, and you feel like You know, there are things maybe you didn't see. And you start getting hard on yourself. Like, how did I not see that? What's wrong with me? Sometimes we don't see what isn't shown to us. So, like, how much responsibility are you taking on to the point where it's creating resentment? Because then everybody's coming, there's resistance on both sides, I said. So if everybody's coming to the room with resentment, then all that love, all that wanting to protect something precious, all that divine connection is still going to be, you know, that's why we do that third energy of what is the energy created by you and other. Because to every reaction, there's a reaction. Okay. I'm going to take 2 oracle cards because it feels like there are 2. Instead of doing a message from your person, because no one's grounded here enough. I don't even want anybody putting, I really don't. I don't want you guys putting, that's beautiful. I don't want you guys putting so much energy or weight in the free will or of another person or what they have to say that could shift, change, whatever. Aw, thank you. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. I said there's 2 different communities here. We have milk and honey. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term like milk and honey, but it's like the sweetest parts of life. You know, and we have the rainbow here, and we have and I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, there's a rainbow, so this could apply to the alphabet mafia community, the LGBTQ. I like to call them the alphabet mafia. And I myself am a happy, I get to be an enforcer for the alphabet mafia because I'm quite an advocate. So that being said, all of my readings can apply to humans. There's just love is just love. So we're not gonna, but the rainbow would be that like pot of gold, that 10 of pentacles, that there is sweetness to be extracted from this situation. That's wonderful. And welcome, Lioness of Gaia. I've been saying that for years because it's true. And I know because I used to participate in the fear, motivated most of my shit. Which is a really great way that I could stay in victim mode also. You know, that's why there's no judgment here, because if there's a mistake to be made that I'm like, oh, I'm seeing this and I really want to like, you know, it's because I made it. Because I made the mistake. I'm not a spring chicken. I am a well-seasoned chicken. So I'm trying to share lived experience plus education plus trauma-informed certifications, then, you know, and share it along with the divinations and the gifts and astrology. And let's just create this incredible toolbox that everyone gets to build for themselves as well. Well, I'm glad you found us. The other card here is Unfinished Symphony. Did you ever get writer's block, music block, any kind of block? Do you ever feel like I have these great ideas and I'm having a really hard time executing it because, you know, mutable energy would resonate with that? There's something here that's an unfinished symphony, but it's like the fear that if you finish the symphony, what if no one likes it? What if it's a disaster? There's resistance here, but there is an unfinished, beautiful outcome. And let me tell you something, an unfinished, beautiful outcome can be with this person or without this person. Because that's you. I mean, I want to cry right now, and I have my full physical confirmation from my guides. But let me all remind all the Pisces and Pisces placements and 12th house sun and Pluto and I mean Jupiter and Neptune on the ascendant. Pisces is the symphony. Pisces is that beautifully made plate of food, right? That looks like art and was effort freely, willingly given. And it tastes like love, and the whole thing feels like poetry. It feels like a symphony. That is Pisces. It is beautiful to share that with other people. But you are that. It's great to have somebody that grounds you. You can also ground yourself. That Page of Pentacles. You are the symphony. Other people just play little notes. Pisces, I love you. Now you love you. And chat players, stay, because we're going to pull some cards. And if you're replaying, I hope you get to catch me. And I say this all the time. You know, if none of the times, I go on all different times to try to like give everybody a chance at one of these. If none of these times work for you, please let me know. And if you're on the other side of the world, and I have enough people on the other side of the world, you know, I don't always sleep at night. I'm down. If it's requested enough to do a couple of lives in the middle of the night, or just do like live chat in the middle of the night, let me know, because without you guys, there is no me.